Hey, Richard here. Welcome to Free Coaching Thursday. Every week, if this is your first time here, I go over to Quora where I have quite a popular account on there. Lots of people ask me questions. How can I build my business this way? Should I do this? Should I do that? Having been in the field now of business for, man, I don't know if I want to say, like 20 years now. I've obviously learned a thing or two from failure, from success. So I like to take some time out of my week to answer these questions in an open and honest way. It's rare these days, right? Ask a direct question, get a direct answer. That's what we do here every single week. So you're welcome to chip in and as I answer these questions. So number one question, how can I market to somebody when I have zero connection? In real life. This is what somebody typed to me. They said, how can I sell somebody to something if I have zero connection in real life? So this comes down to value. Okay, value and also we need to look at like what's working nowadays on online. I would say to that lady, why did you ask me that question? Because you trust me and you want to know my answer. Well, why is that? Why did you feel comfortable to do that? We'd never met in real life. Yet you're asking me for help to steer your business. Well, that's because of the amount of value that I put out into the marketplace, such as videos like this. I've got over 1,000 blog posts, hundreds of podcasts, hundreds of YouTube videos, social media, but like I'm all over the place and have been consistently. So putting that value out there, it lets people know and showcases my skills. So if you're asking for trust and wanting to make a connection, but you're not willing to put value, that's an easy way to fix that. It's not easy actually, but it's the smartest way to fix that. Are you entertaining and solving the problems of your audience? If you do, that's value, and then they will start reaching out to you because there will be a connection made. Like people get married meeting online dating sites these days. People have love affairs all around the world, never even have met physically for years sometimes. So the platform is making less of a difference now. Realize that the internet can allow you in a free and simple way to build a connection with a wider audience regardless of that face-to-face. Like the people that still need to shake somebody's hand, those people are dying out very quickly. Some people still like it, that's cool, but that won't trouble you. The percentages are so small. Webinars. Someone said, why are everybody using webinars these days? Are they really the best way to sell something? It depends on what you're selling, but I think the beauty of a webinar is it allows you to get a lot of information in one sitting to your audience. So for example, this video may be like 5 or 10 minutes long, right? It's a little drip, if you like, in terms of value. But if we were on a webinar together and I went for a full 60 or 120 minutes going through all these questions, you'd build up reciprocity. In your mind, you're like, wow, that guy's giving me so much. He's giving me so much of his time, so much of his effort, energy. If I wanted to offer you something at the end of that, so long as it was specific to what we've been speaking about, there's a good likelihood that you would at least consider it, right? Because I've built up this reciprocity. I used the example last week. I said, if you came and helped me move home this weekend, I would at the very least want to take you out for dinner or something, or buy you a pizza, not because you expected it, but because it's the right thing to do and you built up reciprocity by giving me some of your energy and effort, and people want to do that in return. So because you can give out so much energy and value in one sitting, there's a reciprocity there that allows people to make a faster decision. I love webinars. Anything that's above a $97 product, I like to use webinars. I think it's more decency than just a smart marketing decision. If I'm going to ask you for your money, like, I don't know how hard it was for you to earn that. I remember the days when paying someone $200 for a product, it made me sweat. It took a lot of energy, it took a lot of effort. So I want to respect that decision by putting you on a webinar so I can give you all the facts, figures, and information. And then when you make a choice, you're like, yeah, I'm nervous, but I feel good about it. So that's why I like webinars personally, and it also makes sense from a marketing perspective for the reasons I just said. Someone else asked me question number 3. How can I size up a prospect, as in know if they're serious or not, before actually trying to waste my time on making the sale, like going to an appointment or a phone call or whatever? Well, I use sales funnels for everything that I do, and that was the main reason was this: time. As you start to elope, that's nothing to do with this and where that word came from. As you start to advance as a marketer in your business, you'll start to understand that time is your best friend or your worst enemy, depending how you invest it. And something I find that is one of the biggest waste of time is investing appointments, which are never as short as you want them to be, meetings, in non-interested or non-suitable people. How many times have you presented your business to somebody and very quickly you've kind of known it's not for them, but you've had to drive there or clear out your diary, you've had to, it's a waste of time. So now I refuse to put any time into anybody unless I know that there's something I can help them with and they're going to get value from that exchange. I don't always expect to sell something when I give my time to somebody, other than sell them on being inspired or sell them on their own success, right? I'm not always looking like a salesy guy, anything like that. But what I'm saying is I don't want to take my time away from my family, my friends, people I love, to invest it into someone who I can offer no help to because they won't pick up that help and run with it. So I always now, and I've done for many years, I always put people through a sales funnel so that they can receive the information without me having to be there. And should they then reach out to me after all that information, they've already pre-qualified themselves. You know, if they've been through an automated webinar, or at the very least a 10-minute video where I outline the major points and the requirements and the pricing and all the rest of it, if someone then messages you after seeing that type of thing, then they know how much it is, they know what it involves, they've got most of their questions answered. It's probably just to kind of, is this a real person kind of curiosity, right? I get a lot of people message me and they don't really have a question. They're just kind of like, I'm going to start the trial with your program this week. So I want to say, hey, they're just kind of looking for like, okay, is this guy really who he says he is, right? Hey, cool, look forward to seeing you on there. Let me know if I can help you with anything. That's all it needs because of that pre-qualification. So if you want to know how to use sales funnels, the same service that I used and began with those years ago, you can go to richardmatharoo.com/CF trial. I'll put it across the screen. If you go there, then you're able to pick up a tool that allows you to put sales funnels together very quickly, very professionally. And if you do that, if you use my link, send me a message. I'll even give you a few templates of mine so you can make a faster start with some things that I've used and got success with in network marketing before. One more question. I had one more question. Yeah. So yeah, size them up using a pre-qualification method. Put them in a sales funnel. If they're not even willing to put their email address into something and take a look at some information, you were wasting your time going there anyway. Like someone can't put an email in for something, I wouldn't bother with putting time into that person. Is the secret to building a successful business monetizing a niche or niche for my American friend market? I don't know about secret. I mean, I would definitely say it's smart, and I always teach, focus on a particular target market. If you try and be everything to everyone, you'll end up with no one. I teach that and I believe in it because it just makes sense to be very specific and speak somebody's language. But when people say is the secret to monetizing, like a lot of time they're avoiding what's in plain sight and brutally honest. And that is you've got to do a good job in whatever it is that you're trying to do. The reason I sell so many courses, like I have something called the Home Business Accelerator. We sell thousands and thousands. I mean, the reason I've done that isn't because I market it well, which I do. That makes a difference. But the reason why it continues to sell really well is I have a you-centric business model. You-centric. And I'm going to put you in the middle of the circle, okay? Me. So I'm the one that is out in the cold, so to speak, doing all the legwork to make sure that inside the circle here, you're safe, you're secure, and you feel, okay, this is where I want to be. It's a you-centric business model. I'm not over here thinking, what's the trick to getting this person, shove them in my circle? No, what I'm doing is I took time, and I'll use that as an example, that product of mine, because I know it inside out. I use that as a great way to say, well, what is the best thing for my customer? Well, my customer would want a trial. So instead of asking someone to join straight away, I give everybody a free 7-day trial where they don't have to pay anything for 7 days and they can actually see the program. Because I've got nothing to hide. Because I've built a really strong program that has great results and offers other people great advice, why would I need to hide that away from a trial? I'm not giving them a 30-day trial where they can rip everything off, right, and then just quit and not do it. No, I'm giving them enough time to make an informed decision and feel good about that decision. Because I know the content stands up. I know the training and implementation. They'll see the value. They're like, oh, definitely a smart choice. But that's one way that I made it you-centric. Another way was, instead of putting in my modules and in my training, well, what sounds good, or what makes it feel like they've got a good deal, or how can I sell them something else? Instead, I just treated it as though I was trying to teach my daughter how to do what I've done. Like if my daughter, she's 8 years old now, imagine she's 18 and she comes to me and she says, I want to build a business the way you've done it. What advice would I give her? Well, I'd give her the best advice, of course. I'd be like, okay, let me take a few days to think about this, and then I'll bring it back to you in the exact order you need to do things in the exact way that I know that works the best. Okay, number one, do this. Number two, do that. That's the way that I put that program together, as though I'm teaching my best friend, the person I love the most in the world, giving them the best advice. So if you start off with looking for like secrets and tricks as a way to make money, you'll only do that for a small period of time and people will get wise to it. The smarter, better, more ethical move is say, how can I make what I'm offering as strong as possible? Is it you-centric? Is it putting other people first? Is it what they would like to hear, what they would want? Is it giving them the best service or the best receipt of value? And if the answer is yes, when you plug that into things like target marketing, things like picking a niche, things like learning how to use funnels, then of course you're going to get more and more of those people in front of it, even better, and that's when you make the super money and get the super success. Because quite frankly, you deserve it. Learning how to market a strong product is the way that the world works, right? So anyway, that's those 4 questions. I'm going to rub this out because I'm OCD. I like a nice clean board. Did you get some value from that? Was that useful? Did you find that beneficial in any way? Was it refreshing? Do you like my approach? I just kind of get down to it, right? I hope that you did. If you did, if I was to ask you to do one thing, just as a favour, it's completely optional, I'm not going to know, right? I'd love for you to share my content with someone you feel it could help, right? I understand that your social media timeline is precious, right? It's where you're building your business. So for you to put me on there and say, hey, I recommend this guy, that would mean a lot to me, but also you don't have to. But if you feel like, hey, this guy's content would really help somebody, maybe there's one person out there struggling who could hear his message and be like, man, that would be useful, good advice, and future content he creates, or looking back at my past content, then I'd appreciate it if you would put my content in the eyes and ears of someone you think it could help. Maybe you're connected with a lot of entrepreneurs online. Maybe there's some people in your team, someone you can think of. That's completely optional, but my request to you, if you want to consider that. Other than that, I just hope that you get the best results possible in the business that you're in, and I hope that my advice can some way help you in doing that. As always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. I'll catch you on the next video or podcast if you're a subscriber. Have a fantastic day, and bye for now.